I think we can all agree that Pokemon has been in a little bit of a weird spot over the past couple years. On the Switch, with the initial release of Scarlet and Violet not running how people would want, obviously. I was actually taking a look at my Switch. Like the original Switch is like a toy. Like this thing is like it's crazy because at the time, I've always grown up with Nintendo consoles. I thought that was like revolutionary. And now we got the Switch 2, which I just got Fire Red on. And I played through Legends ZA. I liked it. To be honest, it, I didn't really like. I beat the story. I cleared the Pokédex. I didn't do the 500 battles things. I waited until the DLC to get my shiny charm and stuff. I really like the Pokemon, but there's like a lack of exploration, right? I want to go like if the routes were outside the city, that would have been great, and that would have been really cool. But Pokemon Winds and Waves actually look so amazing, and I am very excited for this. There is one thing that makes me excited as an adult now. When it comes to games and stuff. Like usually I buy the game and I play it and then I'm not as excited as I used to be. That was a little bit of the case with ZA, but Scarlet and Violet, I had like 400 hours just playing that one and really enjoyed it. I always love just catching everything, making a strong team. Battling's a big thing for me, like some competitive stuff. I feel like there's a lot to do, and especially if there's a big environment, that helps. And this morning, I woke up and watched the Pokemon Presents on ZA, and they go through, and we get these pictures of each region, and then you get this funny Pikachu dressed up. And to be honest, when this happened, I think nobody had any idea. Like, I saw the ocean, and I think I'm wondering about winds and waves. Is like, I feel like that leaked years ago, right? Like, I always thought it was just like a fan made name for Gen 10, but it actually like I don't know if it has always been that and the leak was true or what happened, but I saw the ocean. I was like, those are the waves, right? And it sure was. It sure was. And then we just go into the trailer. Oh my God. So I see Game Freak. Obviously, Game Freak, biggest grossing, Pokemon is the biggest grossing media franchise in the world, right? They are in so many pools. The games are really what I'm here for, right? I got my DS here, I got my Switch. I love playing Pokemon games. I need something new and refreshing. And when I saw this, I started jumping out of my seat. It reminded me of Breath of the Wild. Like, look at this, just the architecture here, right? I mean, obviously, it's just a building. We got a windmill here. That's cool. Just having some liveliness in the world, right? One of the main issues with ZA was it kind of just all looks the same and there's no really way to explore. But look here, we have these different climates, the different biomes, this big water pool thing that just looks cool. And then the trainers look great, the models look great. But I feel like this is what Pokemon has been leading to for a long time, right? Scarlet and Violet, I personally took it as a test run in the open world sense. Like, it's a big map, but you can only do it so many times, right? And then I'm just watching this, and I think there's good things coming. I mean, it's definitely going to be a $70 game, and there could be two $30 DLCs, um, and that's just kind of Pokemon goals. I hope to see before we get to the starters. I hope to see a lot more in the main game before throwing out a DLC. Like, obviously, when we had our DS Pokemon games, right? And the DLC was built in. There was so much to do, and usually they have to have you like you shouldn't have to pay to do all the legendaries and stuff if those are optional in the game. There should be a full um, post game to do, and then a little while after you complete the post game, maybe a huge thing of DLC. Like the DLC gotta be worth it, right? They usually throw in little things that make people get it. Different shiny hunting methods, new Pokemon, obviously, old Pokemon that weren't in the game. I would love to see a huge Dex too. I know it's not going to happen. I know we're going to have like 400 or 500, but I really think after like X and Y, once they stopped incorporating the national decks, like when Sun and Moon came out, because Sun and Moon was the first full decks I finished, right? But it came with a grain of salt because it's not every Pokemon. Um, and especially with Pokemon Home now, we should have access to that stuff. But the starters, okay, my boy, Brow or Brow. I want to say Brow. I feel like that would make sense. But so okay, we got another grass bird, but I think he's going to be very popular just because he has some like those eyebrows have attitude. He isn't Rowlet, but we'll have to see where the evolutions go because he's not really my first choice. Tomba is tough. I'm usually one to go for the water starter. Um, Here though, Pambon depend like the thing is like I don't really like. So I watch the trailers, but I try and stay away from like new Pokemon releases and stuff that come out online because I really like experiencing it in the game. Like in obviously they showed I'm like 75% of the way through the DLC, and they showed some of the DLC on um or some of the new Mega Evolutions that I haven't seen on the video. And then I was like, oh well, I've spent long enough not finishing it, right? So like here I think it's gonna be Gekwa. Gekwa has potential. I don't at first I saw him and I saw how smooshed his head was, and I was kind of making fun of him. But he's kind of growing on me. He's growing on me. Because I feel like Kanban, while it's cute and it's a good design, the waves look so good. You can't lie. Look at it. Like I remember seeing in Legends Arceus, and then I hope this under the water thing is like actually I hope I can scuba dive and go down. And like or like I can have an air bubble for my water. I don't know how that's gonna work. They might have just shown that to be like, yeah, this is about the ocean and you can go fishing. Oh my god. It's 2027 though, when it comes out. So I can't get too hyped about it right now. I gotta conserve my hype, right? But hopefully they do like because it could be I had it on my I made a little whiteboard checklist of what I think would come up and this was definitely on there. But they're going to spread it out, right? It might be another 3, 4 months before they say anything about this game because it comes out in 2027. It's probably summer. It could be end of the year, which I think is good. I was looking at it, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out in 2022, right? And it's kind of interesting because Pokemon's not a company that does yearly releases. Like they do, but not with the mainline games, right? They like to alternate, and they have enough means and people to do so. So by 2027, I think this game will be very well polished. I expect it to run flawlessly on the Switch too. It's Switch 2 exclusive, which is it's for the better, right? The Switch is a little tablet. Okay, it was $300 when I got it. It definitely feels like $100 product now. Um, Switch 2 is very expensive though, and it's like there's not enough games for you to actually go on to get it. But by the time this releases, hopefully there will be, right? Like I saw Mario Tennis Fever. I thought it looked really fun playing online ranked against people and using the fever rackets. But I am not paying $70 for it. No chance. Not right now. Not ever. And Nintendo doesn't do sales. Like if you're using a PlayStation, the top 10 out of 10 games are gonna be like $20 because they know they're not selling as many anymore. But Nintendo's like, oh, we want to maintain quality. We don't want to cheapen our work. It's an interesting view. Um, but regardless of that, I'm really excited for this game, and I think it's gonna reignite a flame that I haven't had. I've been sleeping on Pokemon. Like I don't really make. I did a lot of ZA live streams, but I don't have reason to make content outside of that. Like I could play fan games or play old games and do Nuzlocks or whatever, but I don't really find that interesting. I like just having a new experience, and I think that's the best thing about Pokemon. Um, so yeah, I'll see you guys again when the next thing comes out, I guess. I don't know what's gonna happen. Could be a while. And then after that, we're due for Black and White remakes, which is gonna be awesome, right? But I'm wondering how that works with ZA. Like, will we get a Legends Cura? Uh, Obviously Legends ZA came out, so like when it's 2032 and it's time for, will it be that 2027? 2030, it's, or I guess 2035 or whatever. When will we get X and Y remakes? We have ZA. I don't know how that works. I think they're trying to step away from that a little bit. Obviously, Brilliant Diamond wasn't. I didn't. Brilliant Diamond's gameplay was fine to me, but obviously it was, lackluster as a remake, right? But again, that goes with the Switch. That game looked bad, and just like a lot of the times, you want to say it's the hardware, but at the same time, they can definitely optimize games. Breath of the Wild on the original Switch, great, right? We didn't really have that experience with Pokemon, so I'm hoping for that. Hoping it turns out well. Hoping there's a lot to do in this game.